Oh, I'm nervous. Hi everyone, I'm PopsicleStyx, and we are doing a co-op NMG no major glitches run for A Link to the Past. My partner is Newlife, and our commentator is Malmo. She's going to be helping me talk through some of the slower spots where there's dead air, and we're just going to jump right in. So she's going to count us down, and we're going to do this thing. So thank you, Apathy Duck, for helping us set up, and let's go.
All right, ready to go?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, start.
So in this mode, thank you for the good luck, everyone. In this mode, our items are synced. Wait, you heard the I'm nervous? I am nervous. Yeah, so the items are synced, so you'll notice when Newlife goes to get the sword from Uncle, I'll also get the sword.
Yeah, one thing we might notice is that we have not grabbed the lamp in Link's house, which you might expect for Pops having downtime. Why would you not grab the lamp here? And I believe that that's because it optimizes your menu to get it later. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. As soon as he gets the boomerang out of the chest from the guard, then I open the chest that has the lamp for him, so that saves a menu, and it saves him from having to open the chest in Zelda's cell. And I looked at his screen and I knew that he had the sword, so then I started slashing instead of lifting bushes, because that's better.
Yeah, you actually don't have access to the B button at all when you haven't talked to the uncle. Even if you did have a sword, you wouldn't be able to slash. That talking to Uncle is a major milestone in giving you access to things like save and quit and certain buttons of your controller. Not super relevant in this category, but it does help you farm a little bit faster.
Yeah, so normally in the co-op NMG routing, player 1 is going to be your more experienced player, and in this case that's Newlife. And so he's going to do escape because his escape time is a lot faster than mine, and he's more comfortable doing it than me. So you'll see that sometimes in the run, the route has to change as you go. Just, you know, accidents happen, mistakes happen. To keep the run alive, you have to be able to adjust and communicate with your partner. Hopefully we can minimize mistakes. We are trying to get under 1 hour as our goal time.
So what happens? Where do you go and when? You go to Eastern, right? But what are you waiting on for the ability to go to Eastern?
I'm waiting on the room he's in right now. So he's going to kill that guard. And now I'm going to go in here. He got the boomerang in his inventory. So now when I open this, I have the boom. It menued to me to have the boomerang out. And now he has the lamp as well so that he can finish escape. And I don't need any more money. So instead of mowing the yard, I'm just going to go stand over here and hang out. The money that I get at the beginning is to temper the sword later.
And the reason you're at this transition is because when Newlife ends Rain State by rescuing Zelda, you need to take a transition to load the screen without the guards that block your way. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have to wait till the Rain State ends. So I'm looking at the O2, which means A Link to the Past online, the client, and it says, it's telling me, you know, got Hyrule Castle big key from Newlife. So if I glance over at that, I can kind of see like what marker the developer has put in. But we have items synced, syncing progress. We're syncing small keys, our overworld dungeon items, hearts, underworld, and chests. And then you can change your color. He's playing on emulator. I'm actually playing on console. So it works on SNES Mini. It's very fun. You can have more than 2 players as well too. And you can also join your friends in a randomizer for those of you who enjoy doing those. You can set up this, and instead of loading the vanilla ROM, load your randomized ROM and play with multiple people. That's pretty cool. I tend to stick to no major glitches, but for those of the people who do like the rando, I would recommend it.
I would also recommend trying the restricted major glitches version of this run, where you don't have as much downtime for the player who is not rescuing Zelda and beyond. It's a very action-packed speed run. But that's not what we're running right now. We're rescuing Zelda. We've got another milestone with Newlife pushing the mantle. That doesn't affect Pops yet, but it does set a new spawn point for Newlife in case they die.
Malmo, did you want to talk about the difference in this category and the category that you run?
Yeah, sure. So the restricted major glitches, Pops would be allowed to clip through some walls around Link's house and start doing Eastern right now. And then it depends on what route you do. It's not set in stone, but you could do things like send your partner the boots before they even reach this part of the escape so they can get some resources in the back. And then it diverges quite a bit from there because the category allows you to be a lot more flexible with the order you do dungeons in.
If only I could remember what inputs you use to clip into walls. I have to actually start playing soon.
Yes, we're coming upon the last two screens of the escape. So Pops will be holding. You might notice Pops has, or sorry, not Pops. Newlife has held right out of that door to avoid one text box from Zelda, and also looked like had a setup for a lag reduction strat, but didn't quite make it. You do want to get hit by that rat coming through the door, but you also need to slash your sword to get the lag reduction. So now Pops is in the proper light world now with the rain ended, which puts all the sprites back in the proper space and gets rid of the guards that are in her way.
So now my goal is to get here as fast as I can, get the big key, and then purposely die so that it death warps me back out. And then we're going to try to time it so that I'm getting that key when my partner Newlife is standing at that big chest.
So what's happening here? So Newlife is also going to Eastern, or is this going to be a wait at Sahasrahla situation?
He's going to Eastern, and he's going to go to the big chest, and he's going to do the back half of the dungeon. And then I'm going to go get him the boots while he's finishing the boss. If you play this on emulator, it's interesting because you can actually see your teammates or opponent, I guess, if you enabled PvP, you can see them on the screen with you. But because I'm on console, that feature does not work yet.
Yeah, one thing you could do with that is you could play randomizer. You could actually race with visible opponent sprites so that you could run into your opponent when you're in the same place, which would make races really interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think people should try that. So yeah, this is the split Eastern, which is a very common way to route Eastern in co-op NMG because it's the only dungeon you can actually do at this point, and it can be sped up a little bit by doing it in parts.
I'm pumping, I promise. I really wasn't. So now I'm gonna die because I need to get this key. Good timing there. And then kill me and split. Now I need to go back in and get money.
There's 100 rupees in the first chest of Eastern. It's the only 100 rupee chest in the game. But there are some 300 rupee chests as well. Are any of those in this route?
Yes, I end up getting that at the very end. After I do the first half of GT, I go to Hype Cave, and I get the money from the thief. Or the guy.
Is that for silver arrows?
It's for silver and golds because while one person is doing the second half of GT, there's nothing really for the other player to do. So you might as well get red mail. You might as well get the bomb and do the thing.
This is another nice place where it times out almost perfectly. You don't have to spend that much time waiting for green pendant. In fact, it looks like you can even talk to Sahasrara before getting it. Not quite.
So you can talk to him and then talk to him again. And this text box I thought was shorter. Maybe I messed it up. I don't know. I was looking at chat. So Junkyard Dave said, can this technically be ran on 2 consoles? Yes, it can. There is a website. There's a client that you load. And then it opens a website. Okay, never mind. And then Malmo, do you want to kind of just briefly go over how the co-op, I guess the setup would work?
I don't remember how the setup works. I play on an emulator where you connect with some kind of Lua script. I don't know how it works on console.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so for console it's similar. You just pick a different option under like the SNI for your device.
I think it's very similar to if you're used to auto tracking, right? If you know how to set up auto tracking for a randomizer,
yeah,
it would work just as well. I noticed that you farmed a bomb in the bushes. What is that bomb going to be used for?
So in this route, I do the Hera bomb jump as well as the Ice Palace bomb jump. So I'm stocking up on bombs for later. There's the book. Was I late on that, Nui?
No, you were good.
Okay.
Maybe a few seconds, but...
But yeah, if you need help setting this up or anything, there's a Discord for A Link to the Past online, and I can link that at the very end when we're done here.
Shoutouts to JSD who created the program allowing this category to exist.
For sure. He's great.
There used to be some proto versions of this category with Lua-based item sync, but I don't think those synced other forms of progress, like dungeons cleared.
It did, just not the Aga tower, and not the Ganon's tower. So both players have to... Oh, rando brain, sorry.
Nice compass. That's a good safety, is you can get a bottle and bugnet here while waiting for access to Tower of Hera, which is going to involve this glove that Newlife is about to collect from the Desert Palace big chest. So perhaps that's just a little bit of time to farm some safeties and catch a fairy to make this a lot more safe in the more deadly parts of the Dark World, and even Tower of Hera itself can be difficult.
Weather bugnet. I like safeties. Why not? I have time here. It comes in helpful for me later game.
The one downside to having a bottle is menuing around the bottle can be pretty tricky. You have to avoid menuing over the bottle, or else it opens up a sub-menu that slows you down and gets you a little bit mired in the menu.
So my fairy is for my Thieves Town later, just in case something goes bad there. Well, I guess something could go bad in Hera, you never know. Sometimes I get distracted.
Hera is legitimately a hard dungeon. It's one of the most common reset points in a normal NMG run.
That boulder's gonna hit me. Maybe not. Oh, it went right around. That's what we like to see.
This glitch we're using on Death Mountain is called Spin Speed. It's a Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch that lets you store the running speed And then when you come off of the stairs, the game expects you to be running, so it puts you on that speed, but you have the free movement of not actually dashing.
Am I gonna fall asleep in Thieves Town? No, Swamp is the one that I get so bored I almost fall asleep in. But I don't do that. I have Newlife do that. Are you going to
Okay,
fall asleep, Duck?
this is really embarrassing right now.
But yeah, we should talk about this. Actually, one of the most iconic NMG boss fights is Lamolas with the bow and the sword. This is a very difficult fight to optimize. You can grind this for hundreds of hours and still not be consistent at it. Really good runners will aim for a 2 cycle or a 3 cycle. Most runners will be happy with a 4 cycle.
I practice the worms sometimes. Newlife, we should reverse the route and do each other's parts one day.
That would be fun.
Really? I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
it sounds terrible. Ah!
So now I'm picking up some bombs and some rupees because I'm gonna buy the flippers.
Get out of here.
Do you also get Ice Rod in this split?
Correct.
Oh, here's my other bomb. In co-op, it's important to watch your item count.
Yeah, it would probably be optimal to use bombs in this cave that Newlife is in, but it's hard to farm enough bombs to make that viable in the early game without losing time.
Yeah.
There are bombs in there if you run out. But, you know, every time you open a chest with bombs in it, you get a text box and it does slow you down. So this bomb jump skips a fall from the floor above. That's the developer intended way to get that chest. But if you fail the bomb jump, you fall all the way to the first floor. You really want to make sure that you either know that you're on the final pixel by doing a setup, or do that bonk setup, which makes it a little bit more lenient. So you don't have to be exactly on the edge of the pit.
Yeah, mine was quite lenient.
Oop.
So Newlife is waiting for the final pendant, which he will use to pull the Master Sword from the pedestal, allowing progression into the final dungeon of the game, Aghanim's Tower. Is that right?
Yep.
It's where the game ends.
I wish.
You've defeated the evil wizard and rescued Zelda successfully.
I'm just glad I didn't fall in Moldor, man. It's the worst when you fall in Moldorb in a co-op run, because then you feel bad for your partner. At least I do. Starting to look like a ped seed?
So now before I go, now I'm doing some item collecting. I have to pick up the. I have to do some rupee tree pulls. Get the ice rod and the flippers.
I'm getting this now because he got the sword, so I have access to get that medallion now. You can't use the book unless you have the Master Sword. So once I got the third pendant, Newlife pulled the sword, I was able to read. So now I have ether for later, and I don't have to climb the mountain a third time like in normal NMG.
The fewer mountain climbs, the better.
I'm gonna get these arrows. These guys are buttholes. Those birds right there, if anybody knows how to dodge them properly, please help.
So Newlife just armed a glitch called Water Walk. This is another, this is a glitch involving being near a pit puts you in a special state called Pit State, which has multiple properties, and one of them is that you can jump onto water and walk on it as if it were solid ground. This gets him to the ice rod quicker. He will most likely be doing another water walk out of the ice rod cave to get to Zora quickly.
Oops. That's okay, I don't like having beams in this room anyway.
So normally this screen with the flippers is one of the hardest screens to optimize because you have to dash on the shallow water and avoid jumping into the deep water. When you have the water walk state, you can dash across all of it. As long as you don't come to land, it's much easier than doing it the vanilla way.
Come back. Newlife, let me know if I need to pause for rupee trees.
Yes.
Yeah? Alright. Our route is not the most optimal one, but it's what works for us.
So what are the pausing for rupee trees? What is that for?
Nui, do you
Because
want to
if she
explain that?
Yeah, if she defeats Aghanim before I do my rupee tree pulls, the tree won't work. Like the rupee tree won't.
Right.
I won't be able to do pull the trees.
So defeating Aghanim changes the world state again in a similar way as rescuing Zelda did. And some of the places where you can pull a tree to get rupees are no longer available as tree pulls. There are still a few, but they're not here. It's also important that Newlife kills 4 enemies between each tree pull without getting hit, because that determines what color of rupee you get. If you kill 4 enemies, but you get hit, then you only get blue rupees, and he needs red rupees to get enough money to pay the monkey to enter Pod, the next dungeon.
Yes. Newlife, where are you at on money?
I'm good. I'm waiting.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Hammer is the next block. I will be waiting a tiny bit for that. Okay, Ag is dead.
When Aga dies, a portal appears at the castle, allowing transition to the Dark World.
There is a route where you do not have to wait for the hammer. You can actually go east of here and then north and head up towards the bridge. And you can hook shot across the water. And in the world record route, I think actually the top 3 on the leaderboards, they do that. They go around and then they take the path north of CAC. And
How do they do that without a hammer? How do you get to the hook shot?
they get the hammer pretty much at the same time as the player in pod is getting it.
They get the hammer.
Yeah. Oh, my spin speeds are so bad today. So where am I going?
You
Shroom.
take a different route around the light world instead of going to the dark world with the hammer.
No, I understand. So you're not using the hook shot, you're using the portal, and you're waiting
Yeah,
for that portal to open
Yeah.
up by having the hammer available. This route, you do have access to one location that isn't Palace of Darkness, which is the Quake Medallion. That's required to enter one of the final dungeons of the game. We're also turning in the mushroom that we collected in the Lost Woods for another safety called the Magic Powder. This is how we can get more fairies and get full refills before bosses like Vitreous and Ganon.
And now he has powder if he needs it inside pod. Is there even anywhere to powder in pod? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Ooh.
So I'm headed to get Quake.
Too low? No? Okay.
And the No Major Glitches run would normally get Quake and Flippers together and then go to Ice Palace, but this is available now, so might as well do it. And Flippers have already been collected. And what will you be doing next? Will you be waiting for the hammer to go south of the world and maybe hit up one of the other dungeons, like Swamp Palace?
So I'm gonna get the hammer, and I have to actually look at my splits because I don't remember. It says Shroom, Powder, Quake, Get Flute, Thieves Town.
Okay, so that's more standard NMG. That's what I'm used to seeing. Normally after you defeat Palace of Darkness, you have to navigate out of the maze and then get a whole bunch of overworld stuff, including the flute. And then that puts you in Thieves Town. So this is going to be very familiar to people who are used to the solo run. Looks like there's some farming happening here too.
That was pretty good timing, Newlife. Nice job.
Ah, I see. It was
Yeah.
just dealing with the enemies while you wait for hammer.
Thank you for the good luck.
A little bit low on arrows.
There's arrows in the pot on the left side in Mimic's room.
Yeah.
One thing that doesn't sync over is the resources in your HUD. So you cannot collect arrows for your partner.
Right.
You can't collect rupees for your partner. The route would probably look different if you could.
Another thing that would be really interesting to the routing would be allowing save and quit. Because once your partner who finishes escape, once they exit the sanctuary, then player 2 would also have access to save and quit and start from sanctuary. If that makes sense. What's the most fun for me is that no matter who I play co-op with, the route's always different. It just depends on everyone's strengths and weaknesses.
If anybody wants to run co-op themselves in any category, I highly recommend making your own route first, just for the experience of it, before attempting to find what you might think is the most optimal route.
Yes, the most optimal, like, I guess the world record route technically is 5 minutes slower for us.
Yeah.
I'm just doing Thieves Town now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a randomizer earlier today, so it's kind of hard for me to switch between rando and NMG type stuff and co-op with different routing.
Hence the Eastern Palace compass.
Yeah, that's probably why Newlife grabbed a compass earlier. Oopsies.
I'm being extra safe here.
That's okay.
I'm messing up Helmasaur too much lately.
You killed him.
Now, just to recap for people who got here, how does co-op work? They are both playing and they're linked to each other so that when one of them makes progress in the game or collects an item, it gets sent to the other player as well. And between the two of them, they have to beat the game without major glitches and without save and quit, which happens to require all the dungeons because that's how the game works.
The timer ends when the last person enters the Triforce room.
And you do need both players to defeat Ganon because that's the rules we decided. It does kind of a side effect of the last player being the finisher.
I always bonk there. Don't bonk there. Note to self.
Yeah, you can avoid that door bonk. The key doors, most of them, with a few exceptions, will unlock if you dash into them while being lined up with pretty much any of the objects in the room. It'll put you on this grid that makes you open the key door without actually bonking on it and allows you to dash cleanly through. There are a few exceptions. You can't do it on shallow water, and you can't do it on south-facing doors.
Yeah, I just got off the grid, I think. Or I didn't nudge against the torches enough or something.
Yeah, the good thing is that pretty much everything in the game is on the grid, so you don't have to find the grid yourself. You just have to move cleanly in that when you change direction, you have to change direction using what we call dash turns, which is when you start dashing and you change direction while dashing so you don't actually move off of your position. It's also more efficient to move that way most of the time because it maximizes the distance you spend dashing and minimizes the distance you spend walking.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. I'm gonna grab another bomb. I like bombs, why not?
Yeah, this route that we're seeing through Skull Woods is different from NMG. Usually you don't enter from that particular direction, but because they're not coming from Thieves Town, the movement on that screen is a little bit different than what NMG runners might be used to.
He's also going to, unfortunately, have to do Moth with Master Sword.
Is that a side effect of the route, or is it possible for you to get tempered in time?
It hasn't been possible for us with this route for me to get it in time for him. There was a route I did with another person in the past, maybe 3 years ago. They went to Thieves Town and they did the first part, got the fire rod, dipped out, fluted to a different dungeon, came back later and finished it. The routing it's been interesting to watch it progress and change over the last several years.
Oof. Those Moldorms are one of the most annoying enemies in the game. I mean, most of the most annoying enemies in the game are some kind of Moldorm. These two are... okay.
That's why I got a fairy, so...
Yeah, we have a fairy. That's what they're for. Oh, we got another fairy. Usually you don't want this fairy because it gives you beams, and you don't want to have beams in the Mothula fight, but it's a little bit different on Master Sword, where your sword itself is already less powerful, so having beams override the damage doesn't do nearly as much harm, and it's also a heck of a lot better than dying.
Yeah. Blind's dead. Oh, that's why I wasn't working, because it's Super Malmo World, not just Malmo. Gotcha.
Pardon my noob strats here. I haven't done this.
You're good. No worries. Where am I going next? Ice. Well, no.
Yes, we are getting Tempered Sword first. You do not want to do ice with Master Sword. It
That's
is difficult.
Sounds like a bad time. Oops.
It's in the low percent run. Right, nice. Keeping rhythm on Mothula is important when you have a low percent fight. You usually don't reach Moth with enough magic to spam Fire Rod, which does the same amount of damage as Master Sword. So what Newlife did is just keeping cool, getting hits in a rhythm that prevents Mothula from firing
Yeah.
weapon, and also avoid hitting Moth into the spikes, which is more or less out of your control. You can also open. I like to open Mothula with a sword spin facing down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if I'm on Master or less, that's how I open it. You can get basically a free tempered hit with the Master Sword that way, and shorten the fight considerably.
Okay.
Don't try it with tempered because it won't work. The Mothula has a weird damage table where the level above tempered doesn't actually damage her at all.
Right. I start with a spin slash too, but facing. I usually face right. I
That would
guess.
work too. I think it's any direction except up should be good. Facing up
Right.
can be a problem because you can poke by accident.
You like the controller ASMR. Is that Newlife? Whose controller is making noises?
That's my controller.
Yeah?
I'm so sorry.
I don't even hear it. I think it'd be interesting if when I turn in the sword, if my partner, like if Newlife just didn't have a sword when I give it to the smiths.
Oh, I assumed that's how it would work.
No.
It's very good that it's not, because Newlife actually needs a sword to open this dungeon.
Right?
It's required. You cannot use medallions without a sword. But you could see that sword change color.
I keep forgetting where I'm going. I'm gonna flute before I lift this to set up spooky.
Yeah, there's some. This will come in more for Newlife in Meyer, but it's interesting that both of them set up a glitch called Spooky Action for different reasons. What happens is that there's some shared variables between the Fire Rod splash damage and some other things. For example, the Flute Duck, and the height that the Flute Duck is on your screen can affect where your splash damage goes on the Fire Rod. Newlife is going to take advantage of that by hitting a switch off screen later in this dungeon. But Pops actually wants to avoid that effect, so she uses the flute, preventing the duck from being at that high altitude that it was at when she used it earlier to get here, so that when she fires the Fire Rod in the first room of Ice Palace, it doesn't have an offset splash damage and actually does hit the enemy.
You explained that so well. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go get another bomb, just because being a baby. I'm gonna go around this way.
Very bad to run out of bombs in Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Luckily, these Baris are on the variety pack.
They're
so
everywhere.
usually you can. They are. You have managed to spawn every Bari in the room. That's pretty good. These enemies here, the Stalfos, also guaranteed to drop bombs. So if you miss a bomb and you have to deal with them, you at least know that when you kill one, it's going to drop a bomb. But you do have to menu back to bombs. Very easy to accidentally powder if that happens.
Please drop
Okay.
4. Uh-oh.
Okay. We're okay. We only need one. You might be able to kill Baris. I'm not sure if you've been tracking your prize drops. I have not. But these do have a chance of dropping a bomb if you are in the right cycle. It doesn't look like it's worth going after that middle one. That's okay.
I need to be on the right pixel, though.
You also need to be menued to bombs.
Yeah. Well, shoot, guys.
We're fine.
That was a little nerve-wracking. This is a slow ice for me, but we're gonna keep going.
We also have a fairy, so
We do have
don't worry
fairy.
about
I
the
forgot.
health.
Forgot.
We have a fairy half magic, and if you really need it, we have powder. You can grab a fairy before cold stir, but I don't think you need one. I think you'll be fine.
You
So
might
we're coming
have
up on.
too much faith in me.
we're coming up on the spooky action part of Misery Mire. The first step of that is we have to actually preserve the value by using the Cane of Samaria in a particular way. It's going to be some dust kicked up first to prevent the Samaria from overriding that value. The Samaria spawns differently if you kick up dust and doesn't affect the value needed for the spooky glitch. This is where the actual spooky is performed. There's 3 rooms. Hit the spike and the splash damage is offset vertically to hit the switch that's just off screen. And you may have seen the game pause a little bit. That was the switch being hit. This one you can see the pegs go up. And then the final room, there's going to be a torch. And you hit the torch and it hits the switch above and you see it change colors, and that saves multiple seconds. It's very fast to do spooky action. This is one of the benefits of having powder, is you can heal before Vitreous, which is a boss that can kill you very quickly. Cold Stir can also kill you very quickly, but it's okay. We have a fairy and we have Fire Rod and half magic, and it's very easy to finish it off if things go south. This is one of the benefits of having a run with room to grab safeties in the route.
That was a slow percent ice, yeah. Definitely slow. Oh, did you run out of arrows?
Yeah. Messing up Vitreous.
Oh, my ice was trash.
That's okay. If both of you are having slow dungeons, you're still synced.
Yeah, true.
That's
Good
the
point.
rule of co-op. If one person is slow, the other person has to be slow too, or else it will go off sync and someone will be waiting when they're not supposed to be waiting. There's that bottle trap I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And then you through the bottle, you hate your life and want to drop the safety forever because having a bottle is trash. Unless you die, then it's great. So this is the final dungeon before Ganon's Tower. This is Turtle Rock.
I don't have a hook shot though, so I have to go the long way.
Oh, that's why we're going this way. Yeah, so it's not... Okay, it's the final dungeon for Pops, but the Swamp Palace still has to be done. We put this one off later because you don't need the hook shot for very much in the game. And it's a lot faster to have Tempered Sword doing Swamp. There are 2 ways up Death Mountain, one of them involving hookshot across the bottom of the mountain, and the other one involving this bridge where there's a hammer peg blocking your way, for the reason we couldn't get here earlier. You might have noticed that Pops is dashing with Bug Net at the same time. That's also a Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch called item dashing. If you hit the dash and the item button at the same time and hold it, then you can get an item dash, and that catches the fairy instantly, dashing from that direction. There are other uses of the item dash we've seen earlier, dashing through hammer pegs with the hammer up. Not intended by the developers, even though I think it should have been. I think it's a good mechanic.
You missed the heart piece again.
One unfortunate side effect of doing Swamp and Turtle Rock at the same time is that this room is faster with hookshot, and we don't have it yet. So that's why PopsicleStyx has to go down instead of up.
Yeah.
This is the intended way to do it. The unintended way that most people will do in speedruns and in randomizer when available is to hookshot the torch and fall on purpose. It's like the only way to get off the platform while riding it is you hookshot something, and then you warp to the door. You can do the other direction of the roller coaster and spend a lot less time riding it. The hardest part is remembering to go down. Green Chomps, this is one of the
Move!
worst rooms in the game.
Move, my
That
bro!
was
Move, my
just the
guy!
worst luck. There's nothing you can do about the Chain Chomp literally being in front of the
Yeah.
chest, unless you happen to get the iframes from the pegs and manage to carry it all the way up.
Oops.
Do you have a fairy drop available coming up?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I have a fairy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, yeah, there's a... I powder the one in one of the Pokies rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I should get those arrows. I'm not going back for them, but I should have gotten them. Because I do Ice Armos without silvers.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Most people will get the arrows if they have 12 or less. I think 16 doesn't change whether you need to get more arrows, but I'm not sure how that changes in co-op. Are you
Fairy.
doing both the basement and the climb, or just one or the other?
I do the first part of GT. Is that what you asked? Sorry.
Yeah, that does change your arrow needs, because you need arrows for the basement and for the climb, but if you're only doing one of them, you only need it for the basement. So this is Hookshot. Newlife is doing some normalized movement to allow him to hookshot through, perfectly into that pot. It doesn't look like much, but it is a strat that you learn. If you do it wrong, you're not going to be able to hookshot cleanly. This is going to be, you can't really see it, but there's an item dash here that puts him in a state allowing him to pick up the pot instantly instead of trying to pick it up with a statue on top, which sometimes takes multiple tries. Swamp Palace is a good place to farm arrows if you're low on arrows. One of the reasons we want fairies in Turtle Rock is having beams allows you to do some of these switch rooms much faster, much safer, and most of the stuff in this dungeon does 4 hearts of damage.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm not talking as much. I'm just focusing.
Coming up is an Argus fight. I'm not sure if I guess we'll see if we're going to go for a 0 cycle or not.
No.
Nope. Okay. Yeah, I don't go for this either. A 0 cycle is very hard. Laser skip is exactly what it looks like. You have to be on the right pixel and you have to dash and cancel your dash correctly to avoid getting hit by the laser. You're supposed to have an item called the mirror shield there to block the laser, but the mirror shield doesn't really do anything. So we don't get it. It's very slow to grab, and you only get it in the 100% speedrun. Or in the mirror shield speedrun, where that's the goal.
Well, I just almost walked off the edge.
Whoa, I've never seen that before. You get a little bit more control of Link than you probably should have when you're on the edge of the platform.
No, dude. This isn't ideal, but that's okay. I'm still used to butter sword or gold sword, like in my NMG route, so the end game of my co-op route is a little more difficult for me.
Yeah, I noticed the menu, the early menu, you were used to having gold sword.
Yeah.
You have to menu on the first hits instead of the second, and it's the opposite problem when you're not used to having gold sword. You can forget to menu and be sitting there hating your life because you can't actually menu while the head is exploding, and you're just waiting for the opportunity to switch to Fire Rod and not able to actually damage Trinex. It's the worst.
Yeah, I wasn't for sure when to menu. We made it through.
A lot of people forget that you can pick up that rock. If you get dead rocked, sometimes picking up the white rock is the fastest way around it.
Oops.
You need all 7 crystals to open the front door of Ganon's tower,
Yeah.
which is why you can't do this earlier. Not in this category. I'm curious to see what happens when you approach. Okay, it looks like the door's already open.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have to time that so that Newlife doesn't approach it too quickly?
If he approached it too quickly, he would also have to wait for that cutscene. But he's gonna be waiting on me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how deep into the cutscene you are, it might be faster to transition out of the screen and back in. It's a very slow cutscene. And Newlife, I noticed, picked up some resources. Is that because he has time to kill?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if I had enough, but then I saw I had 10. I only needed for the mimics, but I need also more for Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, and we have Gauntlet coming up too, so.
Oh, oops.
Yeah,
making
you
sure
can.
that-
Newlife can make it all the way past mimics too, and then there's a big key door in the way. So he can take his time because there's quite a bit of time between here and nice duck spike. That's an interesting room to get that in. I've seen that in the spike skip room, the one before it, but I've never seen it there before. I think it has something to do with the Stalfos jumping out of your way.
Ooh.
Oh, that was an interesting mimic movement. I didn't know that could happen either. You learn something new every day.
Wait, I went in the wrong hole. This
Okay.
this is fine.
This is fine.
I'm professional.
This is why I use the hookshot in this room.
I meant
Less error
to.
prone if I do.
I need these arrows, don't I?
You would rather do 5-2 on the top.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I got them anyways.
Yeah, and you'll also want 4 for Ganon for the Silver's fight. And you'll need a bomb. But there is a bomb in this room, and that's okay.
Oh. I don't.
If you lift up that pot and there'll be a bomb.
I didn't realize that I didn't have one. Thank you.
The pot to the left is also a bomb. There's a lot of bombs in that room, and I think there's a pot with arrows as well. If you're ever in a real dire situation. I believe the pot above the bomb you picked up is arrows.
This is bad. It was so good in practice too.
Okay. If you want to get in more arrows, there is a pot here. It'll probably be faster than doing 3 spins on Ganon.
There you go.
Or not a pot, a chest.
So now... Go, Newlife, go!
We're collecting red mail to safety that's available for free because...
Why not?
PopsicleStyx just has to wait for the Ganon hole to open before fighting the wizard, and there's a lot of... Not the wizard, we fight the wizard in all dungeons, okay?
Oh, you got this key. Okay.
Yep. Of course, we can't save and quit, so the only option is to mirror out of the dungeon and flute to probably Link's house.
Yes.
Is that right?
Correct.
We're going to do one last shopping spree, and that's going to be purchasing some explosives, high explosives, to get some weapons. It's a very violent game.
Oh, I tried to press the left bumper to menu to hammer.
Oh, classic.
That doesn't work here.
Yeah, that's another feature that should have been in the vanilla game and just isn't. It's in Super Metroid. I don't know why they didn't put it in A Link to the Past. Yeah, that's how you menu in Super Metroid. You use quick swap to everything. It's
I don't have
terrible.
a bomb.
Oh. Okay. Let me think. Go to the bomb shop. Okay, go to the bomb shop, and there's 3 rocks in front of the bomb shop, and the middle one can drop a bomb. It's a 50-50 chance.
In the light world or dark world?
I think the dark world works. If it doesn't, you can mirror in the
I
white
can just
world.
buy these ones, right?
No.
No?
Oh wait, yeah.
Because he gives me 300, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why did you need 300? You had 100. You could have bought the big bomb.
Because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm so used to needing the money. I'm not sure.
I forgot that you were going here because of the money.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh well,
I
we
don't
have
know.
9 bombs now. You have plenty of time, right?
I should, yeah. Because
Why not?
he still has to finish the climb and do AGA 2. And then when the bat crashes, it opens the pyramid for me.
Yeah, the only benefit to getting here a little earlier is that it will be a slightly easier Moldorm fight with the gold sword. I would recommend throwing in the sword first and then the silver arrows if you are short on time. I don't know if it will matter here because I think it will take more time for you to reach, but that is the one benefit you can get right now.
I too am used to needing the money. Yeah, oops. I wanted more. I don't know.
You might be able to get gold sword. We'll see. If this is a successful fight, it won't matter, but if it's a fall, it will.
Whoa!
Whoa.
We're fine.
All right.
Oh, I see, and I messed up too. I just mashed A, and I was looking at him, and I was like,
That's
wait.
okay. He was successful, so it didn't matter.
All right, good job, Nui. I was no help for you at all.
Yeah, with a gold sword, you can defeat Moldorm too with just a poke and a slash, and it's impossible to accidentally phase Moldorm.
Would have been nicer for him, yes. I was just slow on... Because I messed up with the money and the bomb, and that's what caused him to not have gold sword for Moldorm 2. That was my fault.
Ooh, nice fight.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that
This
counted
worked
as a
easy.
double.
Yeah, I thought that was going to work. That's okay. And now we wait for the back crash. You can see that PopsicleStyx have plenty of time. Standing right in the middle so that she can fall in immediately.
Oh, this might be.
Ooh.
No pressure.
Do you want me to be quiet during the Ganon fight?
It's okay.
Oops.
Did we both miss a hit?
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Okay.
And now he's trolling.
It's punishing you for it. Oh no. Well, you would have gotten those warps anyway. I actually don't recommend Torch Glitch for the Silvers fight.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to catch Ganon in the middle of the room if you can fire both torches and be in control of both of them. But
Yeah.
these are good setups. Get them in the middle of the room. And sometimes you can use Torch Glitch, like, oh, that almost worked, to also catch Ganon in the middle of the room on the first phase of Phase 4.
All right.
All right, we got our first finisher. Of course, it's the second finisher that counts, but that's also coming up very soon. Very nice sync in the end game. Good run.
I think this is a PV by a few seconds.
Is it? What's our time? What's our goal?
59:57 was our PB.
Oh. Okay, we need to retime that because I started the timer late and then I missed the last split. But yeah, let's play the credits out. Nice. Nice job. Woo.
Yeah, GG's.
GG.
Sub 1 hour.
Yeah, that was the goal. We did it.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Malmo. I really appreciate you helping commentate and explain.
Yep, that was fun. Thanks for running.
Thank you.
We're just gonna play the credits out. I'm gonna finish that here on my stream. And thank you again, Apathy Duck, for helping us with the setup, and Feasel for organizing the event. And that's it. Thanks again.